Hey guys, what is going on? It is your boy Tripper here, back with another video. In today's video guys, I'm going to be showing you how to set up chat commands and how you can make your own chat commands for your Minecraft realm or your Minecraft world. Simply by typing .help in chat, it will run a help command showing us the available commands inside of the realm or what we can do. We can also see that we're in game mode creative. We can do .test. And as you can see, it says Solus test. Your game mode has been updated to survival. And as you can see, we are in survival. You can use these chat commands for absolutely anything, such as warps, TPAs, or even a money transfer system if you want to make a money transfer system as a chat command instead of a GUI. So let me show you guys how to get this into your world and how we can set up custom commands for ourselves. So guys, the first thing you want to do is go down in the description below and click on the first link to take you to my GitHub page. From here, you want to click on video pack. You guys want to click on scripts, and you guys will see a chat commands folder. If you click on there, you will also see a cmds.js file and an index.js file. If you click on this, you guys will see our chat commands file. You can click on this to copy it. And if we go to the chat commands folder again and go to index.js file, you guys will see the index.js. You guys can click copy raw file from there. Then you want to go into Visual Studio Code and you want to set up the chat commands folder with the cmds.js file and the index.js file. Then you guys want to go to your main.js or your entry file. You can find your entry file inside of the manifest.json. Come to where it says type script inside of your modules, and you'll find entry, and this will be your entry file. So inside of my entry file, which is main.js, I'm going to go in there and we're going to import the cmds.js file. So as you guys can see, I've put full stop / chat commands / cmds.js, and that is now importing this file right here. We don't need to import the index.js because we're already importing chat command and commands from index.js, which is the only two things that we need. Once you've done that, you want to load up Minecraft. You then want to click on play and load up the world that has experimental features on it, beta APIs, and the packs on it. So mine is the tutorial world. Put your world name here. So we're going to load up that world. So guys, when you load up into the world for the first time, you guys will be able to type .help straight off the bat, and two commands will show up. One will be help and another one will be find. Now, if you want the command name command to show up, you will need to tag yourself with cmd. As you guys can see, I already have the tag, but if you type .help, three commands will show up after you get the cmd tag. Now, if I just remove that tag, so remove cmd, you guys will see when I type .help, only two commands will show up. You'll see help and you'll see find. But I know about the cmd command, so if I do .cmd, because the alias for it is cmd or command. Now, if I just type .cmd, I don't have permission to use it. So it says here, unknown command, cmd, which is what we just put. And I'll say, please check that the command exists and that you have permission to use it. So I don't have permission to use it, but if we tag ourselves with cmd, and now we type cmd, you guys can see it says SIW Solus ran cmd, and my game mode has been updated to survival. Now, if I was in creative mode, so we'll do that, and now we run it again, you guys can see we still get put to survival. So using this, you guys can set up a bunch of different commands, and they can run different things, such as giving money, such as teleporting, like warps, or anything you guys want to set up. Now, you guys can set up advanced systems like TPAs, money transfers, and all that using these custom commands. I will be explaining these custom commands in a little bit more detail, but first, let's talk about the find command. Now, if we go into here and we type .find and press enter, you guys can see it says error. The command argument, you need a target and an amount. Now, if we was to type in a name just like this, so the target is going to be me. So I'm going to press enter. It still doesn't know what I'm talking about because it's saying that the amount is not a number, but we haven't put an amount. As you guys can see, if we put 5, it still doesn't know what we're talking about. It's because SIW Solus has a space in the name. If we was to put quotation marks now and type in my name with the correct capitalization and just press enter, it still doesn't know what the amount is because we haven't put a number, because it says amount is not a number. But now if we put 50 and press enter, you guys can see it has console warned SIW Solus 50, and the script warning has warned just our name, and that can be shown inside of Visual Studio Code, inside of the cmds.js. So let's go to Visual Studio Code now, and let me explain this to you. So if we get rid of the other two commands and I just show you the help command, I will be explaining the first way to create a command and what this actually is. So the first part where it says chat command.create, this is just saying that we want to create a command. And as you guys can see, it says method create, and then it will tell us what we need to put in. Now, if this is a bit confusing to you, don't worry, I will be explaining that to you right now. So the first one is going to be the command. So what is the command name? Is it help? Is it TP? What is it? So we've put the name help. You guys can put whatever you guys want here. So if you wanted to create a .tp command, you will put TP right there. Then we move on to the description, which is right here. This description is going to just give a little bit of a description on the command. So as you guys can see, we put the help command shows all available commands. And that is exactly what it does. So that is the description that we've put. Then inside of the square brackets, we have set up aliases. Now, aliases it's just a fancy name for setting up different ways to run the exact same command, putting in different things. So we have put .help, .h, and that will still run the same command. It will run the help command because it's in the aliases for the help command. And we've also got lowercase help. So if someone forgets to put the capital H and they just put .help in lowercase, it will still run the command. Now, if we wanted to set up a different alias, say ABC, for example, we can just put ABC right there. And that will set up another alias for the command. So if we was to type .abc, it will still run the help command. So that is how you set up an alias for your commands. Then we need to look at the arguments. Now, in the help command, there is no arguments, so it is set to false. Now, I'll move on to arguments and permissions in the other ways. But inside of the first way, there is no argument and there is no permission. So the first argument, if you don't want any arguments for it, we'll just set as false. And the second one, if we don't want any permissions for it, so anybody and everybody can use this command, we will also set that to false. Then it's going to run the callback. Now, the callback is constructing a help message, and the help message is going to be called commands. And then this is just setting up a filter to grab everyone with the command permission and people without the command permission. So if there is a command with a permission where the person has to have a tag of CMD, which you've seen when we was back in the world, it didn't show up. And that is exactly what this line does right here. It gets everybody with permissions and shows them the commands if they have the permission. And if they don't have the permission to use the command, it will not show the command to them. So this is just filtering out all of the permissions on the actual player, and whether they have permission or not. Then this sets up the commands. So this will grab all of the different commands and the alias and the description for it. So if we open up Minecraft, I'll show you what that means. So it's grabbing the command name. As you guys can see, we've got help here. It's then grabbing all of the alias for the command. So .h and .help. Then it's grabbing the description. So help command shows all available commands. That is what this is doing right here. And we can see that it's doing that by looking at construct alias. Then it's going to get the alias of the command and it's going to show it. So right here, it's showing the alias command, and it's doing the exact same thing for command.description. And then it's showing the command, the alias for the command, and the description. So it's saying return, and it's doing in chat, it's typing the command name. Then it's doing the hyphen. So if we just want to add 2 more hyphens here, we can. And then it's showing the alias, and then it's showing the description. So if we wanted to add hyphens here as well, then click save. And if we now do /reload, and then we type .help in chat, you guys can see now we have our ABC alias that we set up earlier, and we also have hyphen now, and then the alias is, and then hyphen, and then the description. So that is what the available commands are. Now, I removed the find and the command name, so that's why we only have the one, because if we look back inside of here, we only have the one help command. So it's only grabbing the first help command. So that is the first way to set up a custom command. Now, you can also go down here, and if I was to just type player.run command and try and run a command here, so if I try and run a game mode s at s, that is not going to work. We're going to get an error. So if we open up Minecraft and do a /reload and try and type that, we're going to get an error saying that it does not have the required privileges. Now, the reason why that is because this is using the before events method. So if we want to run a command inside of here, we will have to do system.run and run the command through the system. Now, this using this method, we show you in way 2. I'll show you how to use that in way 2. But that is how you would run a command, by using the system.run. So if we do that right now, so we do get rid of this and type system.run. And then what you guys want to do is you want to open a bracket, then open another bracket, then close a bracket. Then we're going to type equals. Then we're going to do the greater than symbol. Then we're going to type in our command. So player.run command. Then we're going to type in what we want. So game mode C at S. Then we're going to close that off and close it off with another bracket. Then we're just going to save that. And now if we go into Minecraft and we do /reload and we type .help now, you guys can see it said that your game mode has been updated to creative. And as you guys can see, we're in creative. So if we go into game mode S at S now and we type in .help, you guys can see we get put back into creative mode. So that is how you set up a command running on way 1. Now let me show you way 2. inside of the cmds.js. So way 2 uses the permissions value, and it doesn't use the arguments. This is just using the permission. So this is how you would set up a command that needs permission. Now, it's the exact same as the previous command, the help command. Now, this command name, what we're going to do is we're going to type it in here. We're going to type in test, for example, to make it a test command. The description is going to be whatever we want to put. So the description, this is a test command, just like so. Then here is going to be the aliases for the test command. So we're going to do this. We're going to do test. And inside of the second one, we're going to put a space. So we're going to type in test command, just like that. Because aliases can have a space, and also the main command can also have a space if we want, like 1, 2, 3. But now, you guys will see that the first one for the arguments is set to false. So there is no arguments on this command. But if we look at before where it said false, now it's saying player and player.hasTag cmd. Now that is the permission. Now to set up a permission, this part here must return either true or false. So if it sends a true, then it's going to run the command. If it sends false, it's going to ignore it and it's not going to run the command, and it's going to say that there is an that it's just going to say that you don't have permission to use it. It's going to say unknown command. So it's going to send back an error. So if you set something up that doesn't return true or false, you guys will just get an error and the command will not work. So make sure this right here sends a Boolean, and that Boolean must be either true or false. That's what a Boolean is. It's true or false. So player.hasTag will send a true or false statement, because if the player doesn't have the tag, it's going to say false. It doesn't have the tag. That player does not have the tag. And it's going to say, well, it's an unknown command and you don't have permission to use it. Just like when we got the error before, when we tried to run it without the tag. But if it does have the correct tag, so the player does have a tag of CMD, it's going to return true. Now, when the script returns true, what it's going to do, it's going to move on to this down here. And it's going to run a player.sendMessage, and it's going to say the player's name and what command they typed. Now, you can get rid of this if you really want, and you can just type in you ran the command and then the command string, or you could just get rid of that altogether. Or if you just don't want a player.sendMessage, you don't even need that. You could just have it run a command. But remember, because these custom commands are using before events, if we try to do a player.run command, it will not be running on the same tick. So the command will not run, it won't work, it's going to throw you an error. It needs to run on the system.run. So it needs to run on the same tick as the player. So if we do system.run and the method I showed you before up here for system.run, it's the exact same thing. We can have the player.run command and run a command that we want it to run. So even if we do TP ~~~ and 5, we can also do that as well. Or you could do player.tp and the vectors for it as well. So you can have the player run anything here as long as it's using system.run. So let's bring back player.sendMessage and let's change this up a little bit. Now, if we want to put the command string down, or if we want to put the description of it or the alias of it, we can do that. by simply doing the $, and then in curly brackets, we will type in either command string, or we can type in command description, or whatever you guys want. So in here, we can obviously type in command description or command string, or whatever you guys want it to return. So mine's going to be saying player name, which is going to be me, of course. Then it's going to say you ran the command, and it's going to say what command we ran. And it's also going to set us to game mode S. And this is using the player name here, instead of using the @s that we used up here. Now again, it's using the dollar symbol, and you also, if you're using this, you want to make sure you put down quotation marks here, because if the player.name has a space, for example, mine has a space in it. So if we do that now and it tries to run the command, so if we do reload, you guys will see if we try and run the .help command, we will now get the test command. So if we do .test now, you guys can see it's going to throw us an error because it doesn't know that there is a space in our name. So if we try to run that command ourselves, game mode S, and then we try to do siw solus without the quotation marks, because this is what the command is running. It's running it without quotation marks. You guys can see that we get an error. And as you can see, it says syntax error, unexpected, and then it points out that solus is not meant to be there because it's trying to run the command like this, because that is what it sees. Anything after that isn't part of the command. So as you guys can see, we have the error now at GDFG, whatever I put, right? So if we go into the content log history, you can see we get the exact same error. It's pointing out solus. So we have a syntax error, unexpected, solus, at, and then solus. So it understands that we have SIW, and that is correct, but now it's saying that solus is not correct, which, if we look inside of the chat, you can also see that that is what it said in here. So that is why we need to put quotation marks. So players with and without spaces in the name can use this command. Now we can Control S that, and if we reload this now, you guys can see, if we run the .test command, you guys can see it works now, and we have been updated to survival. And you can also see in the chat, it done siw solus, you run the command test. So that is the second method of how to set up a custom command. Let's move on to the third and final method. So this is the third and final way to set up a custom command in chat. So it's the exact same as before. The setup is the exact same. We've got the name here of the command. We've got the description of the command. We've got the aliases of the command. In this case, we only have one aliases, which is DSSDDS. And then we have our arguments here. Now, this has arguments on it, but it does not have permissions. So as you guys can see, it says players and then the arguments. So as you can see, there's no permissions, so that's set as false because we don't want to have any permissions on it, but we do have an argument here. So instead of having false like we do on the help command, we now have the argument here inside of curly brackets. Now, the arguments inside of this command is a string value and a number value, and we've both typed in the key names for this being target and being amount. Now, if we just save this, go to Minecraft and do /reload, you guys can see if we type in .find and then we do a random amount of letters and then we do 55, that is a string value and a number value. Now, if we do Control H, you guys can see it's got exactly what we typed and the number we typed as well. But if we decide to type in true here, which is not a string type, that is a Boolean type. True and false is a Boolean type, and then we type in 55, we will get an error, and that will say that the target is not a string. And you can set this up to say whatever you guys want, but target is not a string because we've actually typed in true, which is a Boolean. Same thing if we type in false 55, it's going to say that it's not a string. Now if we type in false and then true, it's going to give us two errors. It's going to say that target is not a string and the amount is not a number. But now if we decide to say false 55, you guys can see it says target is not a string, but the amount is a number. So now if we decide to do GG, but we then type false or true, you guys can see that amount is not a number now. Or if we just type in that, amount is not a number. But if you want to put a space inside of the target, say the player's name has a space like mine, you'll put quotation marks just like that. So quotation marks, SIW Solus, then we type 55, it's going to work. And as you guys can see, it says here, SIW Solus 55 and SIW Solus. So that has got the player online, which is me, and it's also got the target that we typed and the amount that we typed, because both of them was a valid target, it was a valid string, and the amount was a valid number. You can also set up booleans inside of here as well by doing this, and then you can type in the key name, so the key name can be go or whatever you guys want, and then we can set up that to be a boolean, so bool, just like that. And that is it, guys. It is that simple to set up arguments. Now moving on, as you guys can see, this is the permissions, so we don't have any permissions, and then it goes on to run the callback. So now the callback happens, and this is console.warning, and it's warning arguments. So this is how it's warning to the console the argument that we put, so the target that we put, which was my name, and then the amount that we put, which was 55. You guys seen that it console.warned the target, which was my name, and the amount, which is what we put. And that is shown inside of the console warn here. As you guys can see, SIW Solus and then 55. Now there's another console warn down here, which is SIW Solus, which is just my name. And the reason why that does that is because of this console.warn right here. Because it found player.name, which was my player, it's going to console.warn saying that it has found the player. Now if it doesn't find the player, which is the if statement right here, so if it cannot find the player, return player.sendMessage, and it runs the argument that we put, which was the argument target, and it says not found. Now you can change this to whatever you guys want. You can say that the target was not found, so it's not online. And then we can say the number that we put if we really wanted to by simply doing this. So you do a $, and then we open up some square brackets. Now inside here, we're going to type in args, which is the argument. Then we're going to put some square brackets down, and we are going to type inside of here what it is called. And as is called amount. So if we type amount in, and then we adjust save that now, we can then type in here with this number. Now if we save that, go into Minecraft and do a /reload. So we do /reload, just like that. Now we find my name. You guys can see it will say the exact same thing, SIW Solus and 55 in SIW Solus. But now if we type in an incorrect name, so like this with 55 or 555 and enter it, you guys can see that the player in not online, I meant to put is not online, and then 555 with this number. So that is how you can set up different arguments to get called upon. So we're just using a simple player.sendMessage here. You can use this for a lot of different things. But that is how you set up the third and final command. So I hope these custom commands did help you. You can find all of them custom commands inside my GitHub, like I said before. So just go to the first link in the description down below, and you guys will see the 3 commands. So way 3, way 2, and obviously way 1, which is the help command. And I hope this does help you guys out. Anyway, guys, thank you guys so much for watching. It has been your boy Solus. Don't forget to like the video if this helped you, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. We are on 925 subs. We are so close to 1,000. I can't thank you guys enough for that. But anyway, guys, thank you guys for watching. It's B-Boy Solus. Peace.